Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a very special edition of Diplomatic Enclave. I'm your host Umar Khalid, but today we have the unique opportunity to have with us one of the wealthiest businessmen in the world who has invested in various sectors in Pakistan and is interested to further improve the ease of doing business in Pakistan and improve the current economic situation in Pakistan through different ventures. His name is Naguib Sawiris, and without further ado, let me introduce him to you as the chairman of Orascom, among other companies. Sir, thank you very much to have joined us.
Thank you for having me tonight.
So first of all, you call Pakistan your second home. You've said, and I quote, "It is my second home. It is full of proud, hard-working people with esteem, culture, and strong attachment to their traditions." This is not your first visit to Pakistan. But what attracts you to this country?
The first 2 years, I'm attracted by the quality of the people. The people here, I've had, like 4,000 people work with me in Mobilink, and every single individual performed, excellently. People were so happy that they have this job. They were doing a great job. They served with honesty and hard work. We were like a small family all the time, and we created this success story with Mobilink. So, you cannot create success on your own unless you have a great people and great team. So this was the first reason. The second reason that I feel at home here because we have the same tradition. It's the same culture. You arrive in the airport, you find like 20 people waiting for someone coming from abroad, like in Egypt. You go and eat if you don't know if it's Egyptian food or Pakistani food, the traditions, the culture, even the music, and everything. So I always felt home here. And then my experience was very good. So I was treated with a lot of respect and honesty, and my investment was I did very well here in Pakistan. And since then we are trying to do more things, and I'm grateful that my friend, Mr. Bukhari Zulfikar, brought me back, because I think the atmosphere now is very well ready for another move, But, we have started this project, even 18 that we have. We started it already 12 years ago, so you can ask me why it took you 12 years.
Yes, of course. This is the first question that would come to my mind.
It's a combination of consolidating the land. It's very difficult to find, because our project is huge. We have a golf course, and we have cricket, and we have tennis, we have squash, so and we have villas and buildings and a hospital, and so the project, it's like a new city will be at the outskirts of Islamabad. So to consolidate all this land was a nightmare, because the people were buying the land from everybody, is trying to get the best deal and all that. So it took us 12 years just to consolidate and then the approvals, of course, all the land registrations, and then the approval for the permits. There is a lot, to be honest.
How do you see construction in Pakistan, the future of the sector?
No, it can blow up and it can become a big industry if the authorities will accelerate the approvals and not be so rigid with the permits, and then and if the government releases some of the land bank it's holding. And when I say government, I say army, the marine, PTCL, the railways, all these, they are sitting on a lot of lands which are unutilized.
All right.
So we can be the igniter, we can be the investor that comes, says, how much is this land? You want to sell it? Okay, you don't want to sell it, let's value it, and you put the land, and we will put the money to build the project.
All right.
This is what we want to do.
All right. So you met the Prime Minister Imran Khan. As you know, Pakistan's outlook is also improving day by day. Moody's has recently taken out from negative; it has gone to stable. And there are other indicators as well that show that Pakistan is going in the right direction economically. How can a person like yourself also contribute to further enhancing Pakistan's economy?
It's not a big deal because, first, I'm the best person to do that because I love this country. And it's not only about the money, I'm in a time of my life where I would like to be remembered as someone who benefited Pakistan as giving back because of the success I've had here. So I'm a person who will never forget how people treated me. And when people treat me as welcoming and as warm as here, and when people are working as hard and as honest as here, and there is no corruption, So this bad image about Pakistan, when I worked the first 5 years, I was never confronted with any corruption. And now it's the same atmosphere, That's why I'm back. Maybe in between, I cannot say the same, in between, That's why I was not here,
All right.
And today, when I look at the quality of the ministers, that is Excellency the Prime Minister Imran Khan has brought to the table. I had 5-6 ministers today. You should be proud. You should be proud. All very high calibers people who were coming from abroad. They left big jobs with big salaries to come back here. And Mr. Zafar is one of them, and he's trying now to push us into the tourism investments.
Today also when you talked to the Prime Minister, you talked about starting low-income housing projects all over the country.
Yes, and we had, this was the most extensive discussion. So I met General Anwar Haider, and as I said, he is very well on top of all the issues and details, and we found common ground, So now we are going to send a specialized team on low-cost housing and another financial team that would see how we can solve all the issues, how can we sell these units at the cheapest possible price and build the maximum number of units at the fastest way and the best engineering way in a win-win transaction. So.
All right.
I only ask for one favor. I just want to be the first because I came now and.
Well, Oresco was also the first when it came to telecommunication, one of the first.
Yes, that's right.
And the amount of investment that you've made in this sector is also huge. When you invest in countries such as Pakistan or even in North Korea, where you're the only big investor in that country, you talk about telecommunications and telephones as the first tool of communication, liberty and freedom. How important is telecommunications to you as well, sir?
I was criticized a lot, not because of Pakistan, but because of North Korea. So I'm in my character, there's a part where I'm like a troublesome guy, so I always do the crazy stuff, So it's crazy to run a mobile. It's not crazy to be in Pakistan, but it's crazy to go to North Korea and have a mobile operation. So when I was criticized by the Western, how can you say you're a liberal guy, you're pro-democracy and freedom, and you hate dictators and you hate unjust people, and then you go and build this network there? My answer was that is the people there, they were deprived from even calling their mothers, their grandmothers. They didn't have the fixed line. When I went to North Korea, it's not like in Pakistan we have these old black phones where you can call your mother. So there was no phones, So I gave them this opportunity, So when you call, what is this telephone today? Can you live with it? Look what happened to all of us. We became addicted to this phone.
Exactly, we can't live without it.
We can't live without it anymore. And for there now, they can call his mother even if she's 10 hours away.
That's so true.
And then he can call and discuss and like that, which is very difficult in these autocratic countries.
So when it comes to telecommunication, you've also extended beyond that. You've gone into communications. You are, of course, holding some of the newspaper companies as well, and you have a huge share in Euronews.
No, I have the controlling share.
All right.
I have the majority share.
All right. So you've invested in so many other countries, which includes Lebanon, North Korea, Pakistan, and other countries as well. Whereas you are one of the top businessmen in your own country, that is Egypt. What makes you become a globetrotter and invest in other countries of the world? What is the basic ambition behind it, the basic drive behind it all?
I only went outside out of ambitions because when I did my mobile company in Egypt, it was a big success. So I said, okay, if it works in Egypt, it will work in Pakistan, it will work in Algeria, it will work in Syria, it will work in Africa. And I have this challenge that, there's since I was young, I like to challenge, the West and the Europeans when they think that, they're the ones they're the gods and we are waiting from them to come and do stuff for us and like that. And if you're not blonde and you have blue hair, then you don't know and like that. So I decided to challenge them by going to my own areas and spreading my mobile activities before they come. And I became the 8th largest telephone operator in the world in terms of my subscribers. I had 400 million. But I could have not reached 400 million without Pakistan's 40 million, or without Egypt's 30 million or 40 million, you see. So I went to these high-density countries, so it was a challenge. When I diversified to other areas was basically because in my country sometimes you have some bureaucrats that, like I wanted a banking license, so they wouldn't give me the license. So I went outside and got a banking license. So every time they stopped something for me somewhere, I went and do it in another country because what we say in Arabic, God's land is wide.
What is your very frank opinion on what has happened since the 5th of August in Indian-occupied Kashmir?
We have another tyrant and another emperor in India, which claims to be democratic and was democratic, but the current person also there is out of context. He's not democratic anymore. He's cracking on local businesses and media and like that, and he's doing all the wrong thing. And this last thing, what happened in Kashmir, It's a provocation without any need, you know. I'm just wondering why someone would go wake up in the morning and do something crazy like that. And what are these people, what did they do wrong? I mean, he has already 400 million Muslims living in London. So why they pick on these 10 million, you know, it's just, and he's now surrounding them and like that. It's provocative. You know, I'm not Muslim. It's not about religion, but it's about what's fair and what's not fair. So for me, this is just an abuse of power, and he could be dangerous, you know. It could be dangerous, you know. Why did you do something like that, you know? So, but you know, there is Allah is big, you know. He's not gonna.
You're Coptic Christians. How important in this day and age is interfaith harmony for the world to live in peace?
I will tell you a story. So all my friends are Muslims in Cairo, okay? So my best friend's mother, every time she adores me. So every time she says to me, Naguib, if only you would be Muslim. I told her, Auntie, if God wanted me Muslim, he would have created me Muslim. Ask him why he didn't make me Muslim. I would have been very happy. I have no problem. But I was born like that. They took me to the church. I became Christian. If I was born Muslim, I would go to the mosque. I would become Muslim. Don't explain to me why we all do. Nobody. They don't like this statement. Many religious fanatics don't like when I say like that. That I say nobody really chose his religion. Don't tell me. You are a baby, your father and mother is Muslim, you become Muslim. When I am a baby, they take me to church, I become Christian. The one thing that unites us all is that there is only one God. And we all believe in him. So why are we wasting time on this? And Shia and Sunnah and this and that.
We need to be together.
Religion should be a uniting factor and not a factor of this engagement and...
All right, sir. As far as investment is concerned, whether it be the world over or in Pakistan, and in the context of your meeting with Imran Khan Sahib and Zulfikar Bukhari Sahib as well, how optimistic are you as far as Pakistan's future as a business-oriented country or as a country where ease of doing business is going to improve as well?
I think, you know, the Prime Minister's quality will always appear on how strong people he has around him. You know, some people, they have weak people because they want to appear. Here it's the other way around. He has a lot of strong calibers around him. So I was very impressed with all the ministers I met, you know. But, you know, I'm also excited. I want to help them all succeed, you know. So I was very frank. I told them, you need to eliminate bureaucracy. You need to punish not only the corrupt employee who takes a bribe, but you need to punish the honest employee that doesn't sign the papers that he should sign because he's scared, you see. So you need to have a system to incentivize the honest civil servant that will not hold people hostage because he's scared to sign. And in addition, why people go to the corrupt civil servant? Because he will finish the paper. So we need to tell someone if he's honest, you will sign. If you don't sign, we will replace you, you will lose your job. So people start to move things, not just for my projects or permits, but for the small citizen that is going to stamp something somewhere and he needs a paper. You know how we are, our people. The people, many civil servants have no mercy or no heart. You see an old man coming and waiting in line, and then they let him wait, and they pretend to be big shots because it's in his hand to say yes or no. This is what we need to eliminate, bureaucracy, you know. That's important. And especially, you have a unique situation today. Look, even when you want to invest today in the Arab world, you cannot invest in Libya. You cannot invest in Tunisia. You cannot invest in Iraq. You cannot invest in Algeria. You know, so there is the whole Middle East is like in turmoil. You know, I forgot Syria. You cannot invest. You know, so and you know, and some countries, you know, I don't want to mention them because they are very sensitive. I will not invest also. So this is a unique opportunity that Pakistan should accelerate bureaucracy fighting, put the systems in place and opportunities of investments ready to be packaged to all investors. Move very fast with a transparent process and all privatization and everything. Accelerate the process so the money starts to fall in here. So you will have more reserves, foreign direct reserves. So your currency will be stable. And you have an excellent central bank governor now, which I know from Egypt because he was head of IPC, you know, and he loves Egypt like I love Pakistan. So we both interchange our love to both countries. So it's a golden opportunity, but you need to shake this old, rigid, bureaucratic system so things move, you know. And what I offered today is that I'm a son of this country too. So I'm offered this, let me work in a way where I will tell you what investors will accept and not will accept, and then you create the level playing system. And I'm going to be very happy is because I came for 10, 20 other people came, I will be the happiest person. I'm not afraid from competition, and I want to do honest, hard work and clean work. Of course, we want to make profit, but it's not my motivation, my lifetime now.
All right, you talk about a level playing field. How important is public-private partnership for a country to properly prosper and develop?
It has to be structured in a simple way. Because, you know, let's give you an example. It's my money. Now I partner with a governmental entity. Whose money is it? Nobody's. So they send the civil servant that represents this ownership and with me. He can take a decision, he will not lose any money. And I will lose all the money because it's not his money. So it's not a good thing. So what I told, what I said here, make it a very clear cut. You have an asset, value it, say I will give you this asset for 20% of the revenue, and you put all the investment to build, and we take a revenue, and we don't have anybody that needs to interfere in management, because the DNA of an entrepreneur and the DNA of a civil servant, sometimes they are completely different animals, to be honest.
All right, sir. For all the efforts that you've made, not only in Pakistan, to strengthen countries such as Pakistan and the cooperation that you're putting in between your company, Egypt and Pakistan, and Egypt and other countries as well, you've been given a lot of awards, whether it be the Légion d'honneur by the French government, whether it be the Sitara-e-Quaid-e-Azam by our own government, or the honor of the Commander of the Order, the Stella della Solidarietà Italiana by the government of Italy. How important are awards for you? Do they matter to you in the long run?
They don't matter, but it's good to feel that countries have appreciated your presence, and when there, you know, it's a kind of like they want to acknowledge you. It's an acknowledgement, but you know, the most one that I want him to appreciate me is God. That's like if I know that I'm on his good books, I don't care about anything else.
What message would you like to give to the people of Pakistan, to the government of Pakistan, to the entrepreneurs of Pakistan, to the businessmen of Pakistan? How should they improve themselves to make Pakistan a developed country from a developing country?
You know, you need a shake-up. You need a surprise effect. You need to think outside of the box. You need also to change the mentality. Look what happened in Saudi Arabia, you know. The guy now came, this new crown prince, and he let the women drive and opened the art and culture and opened the country, you know, to all these now singers are going. I made the best ever party with the group coming from Lahore when we celebrated our 40 million subscriber here in Pakistan. Amazing party. And nobody knew that these talents existed in Pakistan, because we aired this on outside Pakistan too, and I invited this group to Egypt to do it. I couldn't believe the quality and the dress codes and so we need to open up, and we need to enhance culture, and we need to fight the people who have a closed mind, you know, because I'm sure God is going to be more tolerant than anybody here, you know. That's so I feel this is my advice to the people, to the government. Try now to think out of the box. Let's change life. Let's move on. The life is changing, is progressing. We have to keep our traditions, you know. We have to be faithful to our own way, but we have to open up.
All right. Thank you so very much, Naguib Sawiris, to have given us the time, to have given us a very valuable output on all the different aspects of a country's development that a country needs to look into in order to become a stronger country in the community of nations, and to also open up to different avenues and to look towards its culture and its traditions that are so important, because that is the basis of any country to follow and to prosper. Like you have prospered from a beautiful country that is Egypt, and made a name not only as a businessman around the world, but as an Egyptian businessman, sir. And for that, I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this exclusive with the chairman of Orascom, with the chairman of 18 and so many other companies. And we hope that he continues to return to Pakistan, that he calls his second home, and continues to build on this investment portfolio that he has been bringing on and investing in Pakistan over the last few decades, so that we in Pakistan also learn from the example of this businessman, of this wonderful person and personality that is Naguib Sawiris. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.